We are done. Hi, Assalamu alaikum. How are you,
Hello, how
Laila?
are you? I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good. How are you? I'm great too. So, how's your life going so far? And what about the pandemic that's happening?
Well, actually, like in my country, which is Tunisia, just one thing. Sorry, there is like the echo of the voice.
Oh, is there an echo of the voice? Oh,
Yes,
is it still there or it's not?
yes, actually, it's still there. Probably you can just use the headphones or something.
Yeah, I'll use the headphones. No worries. I'll use the headphones. Let me know if it's okay now.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that's good. So we can start again. So welcome, Laila from Tunisia. How are you doing? And what about your country? How your
I'm
country is feeling with this lockdown?
I'm doing great. And my country actually is somehow healing from the coronavirus. We have like just a few cases and everything is going well till now. So yeah, everything is great here.
Oh, that's amazing. And what about you? So you are still practicing all the things within the lockdown, or it's all about moving out and it's safe?
Actually, I mean, it's a bit different because I used like to do all the activities at home, including practicing sports and so on. But now, when everything is back, I'm able to get out. I'm able to back to certain work tasks and so on. So yeah.
So yeah, it means that it's a positive sign. I mean, and still we are still in lockdown here. I mean, it's like the lockdown is open, but again we have multiple cases arising every day. So it's just like going for out for the need, and rather than just be at home and do all things from home. So that's what it going from here. But what we are going to talk about is the equality today, and
Yeah,
that
of
is
course.
something really important, I guess. I mean, you being a feminist and running a campaign and doing all so much good things in Tunisia and around the world. I mean, I'm sure about this. But when we figure out that this equality matters and we just don't supposed to just march or protest or to demand our rights, there's something that really essential that take place today with this pandemic was that equality, why it matters a lot. So I really wanted to know your views. I mean, what do you think about equality? And then we come up with the other questions.
I actually perceive equality as something that we cannot deny its role in building a more harmonious world, and of course, a more harmonious humanitarian community. Equality is not just about a man and a woman being just equal in terms of the rights and the access to different opportunities and so on. It's about perceiving each one as a human being, perceiving each gender as a human who really deserves all the humanitarian needs, everything. So yes, that's why equality for me is super important and has a vital importance in affecting the word's peace and of course the other different themes that the advocates work on. So it's really important.
That's true. Impressive. I'm really impressed by the question answer you did about the equality. But now, Layla, we see this that all the people are fighting for the equal rights, and they really want they really term this terminology as something, so vibrant in the way that, it feels like that maybe they're not just getting the enough rights, or maybe there is something, there's always a debate on this question, and there's always a debate between a man and a woman about things and rights and so on. It's all in the ear, and it's all, every time that happen. I mean, I don't know, I can't even sum up the situations when it all this happened. But when this pandemic take place, and we see that, it's all about the lockdown, and it's not just about anybody going out of the home and being so superior about it, or someone who is staying at the home is just going to do the household work. So that time, what do you figure out that how this thing can change the mindset of the people?
Actually, I mean, in each theme that advocates work in, there are multiple challenges. I mean, it's not easy to achieve equality in all fields without crossing and without passing by certain hard challenges and so on. And with the arrival of this pandemic, actually things just got worse, because if you just take a deep look at many communities around the world, you will see that women have been really suffering, especially from domestic violence, and of course, like the percentages are very high and can confirm that. Also, they have been facing the sexual harassment whenever they just get out in order to buy their needs and just get home afterwards and so on. So the challenges are nonstop, and of course they are infinite. And with the pandemic, they just got worse, because some women, I mean, really don't feel like they are capable of raising their voices and expressing these circumstances that they are living under. So it's quite hard, to be honest. It has been quite hard, but there is always a possible way to advocate this. There is always a possible way to find solutions to these challenges, especially during this pandemic.
That's true. So when we figure out that, it's quite hard to figure out the solutions in pandemic, but when there are other things that take place, when we're working from home, and we see there are so many household things that, we both need to share equally. But again, there is, I don't figure out, what do you find out that, is there a change that took place or not? I mean, is there a sharing that comes with responsibility and a positivity with this lockdown, or not?
Well, like personally, this is how I perceive household work. Household work is not just for women or just for men. Household work should be shared, and it really depends on who is the person who is available and free during that time to cook or wash the dishes or wash the clothes and so on. So it really depends on like on the availability of each person. This is from a side. From the other side, we have the pandemic. I mean, the pandemic, I feel like it just made everything worse for women. I mean, women, like with men, with certain men losing their jobs, women are taking and have been taking lots of responsibility concerning that. They have been, the work just got overwhelming, and that's it. I mean, that's really super overwhelming and super tough, because women became just the ones who are responsible in cooking and doing everything just for men who assume that they feel depressed and so on, and of course angry because they lost their jobs, or they
Mhm.
just took a period of time off from work. And you know that when someone takes an off time from work, they just feel uncomfortable because they just got used to work and so on. So it's really, I mean, it created a huge challenging gap in terms of household work and so on.
Yeah. I totally agree, and I mean, I respect your views. I mean, this is what really matters right now in 2020. We need to know that, there is a certain change that required, and it's just not about household, or it's just not about the work, or it's not about anything that we both cannot share, or both the genders cannot share or can equally work on that. But again, but there's also something that arises with people, that is the relationship. I mean, so being in this lockdown, we see there are so many fights, tantrums, and depression, anxiety. But we also see the people are sharing love, and they have a good communication that was never ever developed before being together in the home. And so what are your views on that?
Well, of course, there is like, I mean, there are like two faces of the coin. There is the face of the coin, which is positive. I mean, in terms of people, I mean, I just really enjoyed seeing many videos spread on the internet of couples just sharing household work and really enjoying their time together during the lockdown and doing lots of activities together, challenging each other, and so on. And there is the other side of the coin, which is the negative side, and negative side, which contains, of course, the plethora of fights, the violences, and so on. So there are like two, two faces of the coin, and it's important, like, to each time we see the negative face, we try to find solutions for it. We try to understand it. And of course, I mean, of course, everyone have been feeling super bad, have been feeling depressed, and so on. And of course, that's psychologically that's normal, because under this lockdown, I mean, everyone went crazy somehow, because we felt like we are off from our world, we are off from traveling, from going out, and so on. And psychologically speaking, it's just normal. It's more human. So but the thing here is still, in terms of your choice. For example, if instead of fighting your partner and creating like a problem over something which is simple, like over, for example, the dinner or something else, you can just like have a dialogue with your partner, speak with her or him, try to understand the core of the problem, and so on. So yeah.
So, uh, again, that's a wonderful answer, and I mean, there's of course the two side of the coin, and I don't know which side with the flip on the way, but we see that in this pandemic, there is more humanity that takes place by far across all this protest that's happening right now, and how genuinely people care for each other, their neighbors, and their community, and how they are all, responsible for each other's life and prayed for each other. So, within your country, what is the wonderful thing that you feel as a positive change?
Well, honestly, I mean, I feel like the word just got more human, and that's totally normal, because that's expected. In like in times of tough periods, that's expected. And in my country, for example, Tunisia, and even all over the world, but specifically in my country, I mean, I was really glad to see a lot of volunteers going out on the streets and helping people, for example, buying them like their needs, and just taking them all to their homes, helping others to get more awareness about the COVID-19 and so on. And it's actually like worldwidely, not just in my country. And that's really amazing
Yeah.
because when you just look at this, you just feel like you are human, like you feel the humanity spreading all over the world, and you feel like like the good does still exist, although although the world has just went through wars, through hard times, and so on. But still, we are humans, we are people, we are sisters, brothers, partners, and so on. And that's really amazing. Like, just this point, when you see people helping each other, just seeing this, it's really, really important, and it's really inspiring.
That is, I mean, even when we see in my country, we see people who are rushing out to things, and there's so much aggression and competition that was taking place. All of a sudden, it's just all subtle, and everybody is at peace, and everybody is understanding the other point of view, and respecting each other, I think, which is something really positive that comes up with this pandemic. But by far, only
Absolutely.
asking, yeah, but now asking something one on one to you, that you're doing such amazing work and you're running this campaign. So why don't you share about your campaign? What is this campaign means and how you're operating this all?
Oh, thank you so much. I really love your work as well, and thank you even for inviting me for this live. It really means a lot. So, concerning my campaign, I actually took a part of by the way, it's an international movement that started in Europe and now just got spread all over the world. And my position for the moment is the campaign officer in my country. So I'm just running the campaign in my country. And the best part of this campaign is that it tries to push women in order to take more political positions in the governmental institutions and so on. So it tries to put emphasis and all its focus on the importance of having more women in politics.
Oh, that's nice. And I think it will definitely make a benchmark if this campaign runs worldwide. So it's in entire Europe, or it's going ahead across the other continents?
Yes, absolutely. It's spreading because in each country you just find a local team, and of course they have a local campaigner, and then the local team members. And it's all over the world, not just in my country. The movement is still new, but yes, it's spreading out, and if anyone is interested, they can contact the main page and of course open up a local team in their countries.
Oh, that's superb. Even in our country, we do run campaigns like this, and we just in this Women's Day, we have passed one of the bill that we'll be having 25 seats for the women, and which is the ratio was drive by 10% to 25, which was a nice one till now, and we hope one day we'll have 50 on 50, but till then it's impressive. So again, what do you find out to be a feminist? I mean, you're too young, and then you have this so much energy, and you are doing such incredible work for women, and not just for women, for the entire humanity at the same point. So what makes you to do things like and have this kind of vibe, or we can say that gig inside you that makes you this feminist? What about that?
Honestly, since my childhood, I've been always influenced by the word activism because my father used to be an activist as well. He used to take part of the UN military army, and he traveled all over Africa. And whenever I see his pictures at home, in all over the African continent, I just feel like there is something inside of me that tries to yeah, tries to
Drive.
connect with me, tries to spiritually connect with me and tell me like, this is Lilia, this is your path, this is your way. And to be honest, being a feminist, I mean, like I've just realized that what I feel towards community and towards myself is named feminism. And I just realized this like 2 years ago. And since my childhood, I was like that. I mean, I was the kind of child who rebels, who doesn't obey all instructions. Not in a bad way, of course. I mean, apart of from being a childish kid, but just apart
Not
of
just being
that,
a naughty kid. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just like I was the rebellious like family member who really doesn't obey everything, and questions everything. Like, why do I see my mom doing everything instead of seeing my father and my mother doing that? Why do I see my aunt like taking care of her children only without the help of her husband? Why do I see my neighbor like that? Why and why? So I had all of these questions, and then they just through the years they just became my fuel to enter the world of activism and to become a feminist. And just one thing, I know I made it a little bit long, but
No, that's
uh,
fine.
just one thing. Actually, I want to differentiate between a feminist and a man hater, because there is really a huge difference between being a feminist and a man hater. Because some people, whenever they
Yeah.
hear about feminism, they just say, oh, feminists are men haters, they just don't like men, they feel like they're superior and so on. But that's not the truth. I mean, being a feminist means that you are trying to defend a cause which is trying to create a more harmonious community in which men and women live together equally and, of course, happily and in peace. And being a man hater, that's something else. That's totally something else, and it's a choice. So there is actually that difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was something really needed people to listen, that man haters are not the women that are feminists. It's totally a different perception of people, how they are taking the word feminism to their self and how they're taking this concept. So it's very important for each one of us and each one who's listening to us, and to understand that feminism is a complete other term that doesn't really mean we hate man or something. We mean that into a very positive aspects. And but I think that's, you clearly describe it so well, and thank you, Laila. I think it was so wonderful having you and knowing all about your views about the pandemic, how people are doing their household and about your country. And it was so warmed to know that your country is now, healing from this COVID-19. I mean, and I wish you and your country a peaceful journey ahead. And I hope this pandemic ends soon and we all can celebrate this freedom and happiness together with being more human to ourselves. Thank you so much for giving out time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I mean, I really enjoyed this discussion. Thank you for the great questions. They really, 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 really mean a lot, and they are super important to be discussed. And I hope
Yeah.
also that all the countries around the world just heal from this COVID-19 and everything just gets well again.
Inshallah. Okay, then see you
Inshallah.
till next time. Bye bye.
See you. Bye.